It's July 19th. I'm Ryan Miller, and he's a delightful piece of content. It's Matt Amberg.
I feel squishy inside like tofu.
Oh.
Covered in soy.
Have you been to the doctor?
Yeah, he said you're fat.
Oh, this is the diagnosis you got from the doctor.
Yeah, you're tofu.
My mistake.
Less healthy than tofu.
You know, doctors are a dime a dozen.
I know. Think about
you
how...
might want to find a different one.
Think about how many there are. There's you've got the regular doctor you go to. There's Dr. Death. There's Dr. Octopus. There's Dr. Demento. How can you be sure the doctor you're seeing is actually even a doctor of anything that is wrong with me?
Dr. Demento, born a mere 30 minutes from my house. That was where Weird Al got his start.
Yeah, where everybody got their start.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean,
yes.
Everybody, Weird Al and everybody else.
Yeah, all the other people that aren't weird Alphons.
If you're like me and you divide the world by two kinds of people, Weird Al and not Weird Al.
And useless.
But yeah, it was broadcast from the college up the road, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly, which is cool because we get all sorts of Weird Al preferential treatment when he shows up sometimes.
That's awesome. I'm curious. I like Weird Al. I got no problems here with Weird Al. I like him. I never buy the records. They're fun to listen to, and when I was younger, I did. But out of curiosity, has Weird Al covered Hall and Oates, or done a satire, a spoof of Hall and Oates, or
you would think,
or Tears
right?
for Fears? I don't actually know.
So Weird Al's later catalog, because he's always had some originals, not exactly parody songs. His later stuff is interesting. This third wave of Weird Al, you could say.
The third wave.
Where he'll do not parody songs, but very overt tributes to certain bands. And a lot of times we'll get original members from the bands. Like he did, I don't know how many albums ago or whatever, but he did basically a Doors song, which is still a comedy song, but it's not parodying any specific thing. But he got a member or two of the Doors to record that song with him. And it did, I can't remember, that happened a couple other times. But so in answer to your question, Hall & Oates.
Yes, he did. It was called Spam Eater.
Really? Okay, I see.
And he did it in one of his polka medleys. Shout was the Tears for Fears song that he put in there. Okay. And those are interesting to me because both of those songs were songs I heard played live on Saturday night.
Nice.
I have a great, it's not great, story to tell you about this show.
It's the weirdest build-up I've ever had.
Tears for Fears, opening for Hall & Oates. Not Holland, not Holland. Okay. Hall and Oates.
Two separate people.
Didn't know that. I thought it was Holland. I thought that was the guy's name. Disappointed to find that out. Also disappointed to find out he doesn't have the mustache anymore. Now he just looks like a weirdo. Yeah, he's got this pencil thin goatee.
Come on.
Okay, so we get to this place called Fiddler.
See the Backstreet Boys on accident?
Basically, yeah, he's one of those guys. I don't know who it is. So we get this place called Fiddler's Green, and it's actually a really nice, it's an amphitheater that's kind of in the middle of South Denver. So it's this outdoor amphitheater that has a little bit of grass seating and then a bunch of seats. And we were on the far right-hand side, it goes A to Z and then double A to double Z, and we were in YY, row YY.
Okay.
After Tears for Fears was done, I kept asking myself, why?
Oh, right.
We'll get there. We will. Okay. So first, the cross section of people at this show was fantastic. You could easily pick out who was here for Tears for Fears, who was here for Hall & Oates.
By the mustaches?
They were actually selling fake mustaches.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. They had them. They were great.
Did they give one to Hall & Oates?
They should have given it to Mr. Holland. Any Hitler. So we go and sit down at our seats, and next to us is
Tears for Fears.
Just that's where they are. They're way back here. They're like, hey, You here to see the show? Like, yeah.
We didn't get great seats.
Yeah. We've got to play back here. I don't know why he suddenly sounds like he's a Beatle. Because neither of them really do. So we had the entire row was people here for Hall & Oates. Like all of them were Oates. They were the Oatesers, the Oaters,
Okay.
the Oates. Yeah. So
because they're big Garfield fans.
One of them was actually dressed up like Nermal. Freaked me out, man. I was sitting there just like, why furries? Oh man, and you picked the worst one, Nermal. Who likes Nermal? So. Okay, so we sit down and we kind of timed this like they had actual food there, so we got burritos, which were pretty rad. We did not listen to the opener, quote unquote. I don't know who the guy was. Didn't sound interesting, so we weren't there. This was fantastic. This was an early show, so doors were at 6. The show officially starts at 7, which usually means like 8 or 9, right?
They're old, dude.
Right.
Like they got to get in bed by.
They were. Kurt Smith, ready for Matlock is all I'm saying. Dude's hilarious on Twitter. They come out at 7:05. Like they were on the stage and they had 6 people with them. It was so if you're unfamiliar with Tears for Fears as an actual band, the band truly consists of 2 people. It's Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal. That's it.
You can see why they, on the other hand, didn't go with Smith and Orzabal.
Right? Yeah. It doesn't. It's not as great of a name situation. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I won't interrupt you anymore.
I appreciate it. I just don't feel like telling the story. So they come out and immediately, like first song right off the bat, everybody wants to rule the world. They like.
Oh, nice. Get that out of the way. Okay.
Both bands did this, by the way. They both came out. We're like, here are like our major hits. We're done. Now we're gonna go back catalog.
It happens often.
The downer here was that Tears for Fears they didn't like. People were still rolling in and it was way empty. Like there were not nearly, it was not packed. And they were killing it. Like they were on stage having fun. They were putting it out there. Like they had the energy and everybody that was there was dancing. Everybody was singing. Like we all knew the songs. Like they played everything that you can think of that's ever been on the radio. They played like half the Hurting, which was freaking rad to hear because that's the best album.
Nice.
They came out one encore song. They played Shout. That was it. And they were like, all right, we're done. We're out. Get
it done, man.
A couple of fascinating things about that band though, man. So first of all, Roland Orzabal, holy crap, dude, that guy still sounds exactly like he does on the records. Like spot freaking on. And he was going for it, man. He was hitting those notes, those long drawn out notes that are a little bit higher up in his register. And he did it, man. And when they did Sowing the Seeds of Love, dude, he just went freaking out for it. It was fantastic. Cool. Kurt Smith, he sounds a little bit older. Like you can hear it a little bit, but it's in no way like, does it impact? It sounds great. He was hitting everything he needed to hit. It sounded fantastic. You could just hear him. He sounds a little bit older.
Cool.
Their whole band were fantastic. They sounded great for a 6-piece band that had one synth player. They had this fantastic backup singer whose name I can't remember her. She was great. The one drummer and then the other guitar player. That was it. They sounded way bigger than that. Like they sounded humongous, which makes a difference when Hall & Oates comes up.
Man.
Other interesting thing just for me as somebody, I don't consider myself a musician. I almost said I was, and that says wrong. Somebody who fiddles around with guitars and stuff. I've never been to a show where they played for about an hour and 15 minutes, hour 20. I've never seen the guitar player, the main, like the lead singer who's playing guitar. I've never seen them use one guitar for the whole show. He never changed his guitar. Never seen it before. That was fantastic.
Huh.
Came back for Shout, different guitar. Totally different sound though, so okay, makes sense. Also didn't know that Kurt Smith sometimes uses a pick, but most of the time he's a thumb player on his bass, which is weird to me. Like that's not something I can't go up and down the strings with just my thumb. Like it doesn't work for me. So they were great. They were they finished out their set with Shout, like I mentioned. 20 minutes.
You were going for Tears for Fears more than Hall & Oates,
definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
we
gotcha.
both were.
Gotcha, okay.
Hall & Oates was definitely more of the kitsch to it was, oh cool, we'll go see them. They've got a couple good songs, some songs
Yeah,
we like.
I definitely still would have stayed for them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
we
gotcha.
didn't stay through their set.
No way. That bad.
They were awful. Like, I won't say they were awful. That's wrong. They weren't awful. They came out right away with Family Man. That was it. It was Family Man.
Gotcha.
That was the first one, and
No
then they did Private Eyes, I think, and then Maneater, then Out of Touch, and then Kisses on My List, and like there was no energy. They had like 20 freaking people on stage, and they sounded smaller and less anything than Tears for
just
Fears.
one after another, like they're not engaging the audience at all.
They did. There was banter and stuff, but like they did not seem to want to be there at all. Like they were just like, all right, we're doing this song now. You probably know this one. This is off of this one. And like, and one of the worst parts was like, so Daryl Hall sings a majority of their songs. Daryl Hall's this like 6'9" gigantic oafish white guy, and then you've got tiny itty bitty I'm John Oates. Hey guys, he's really, when they came out together, I'd never seen them side by side like that. Like I've always only seen them in videos and stuff where he's on an Apple box, or they cut the camera so
Right.
that and I lost it. Like I was peeing laughing so hard. It was just, Beth was like, what is wrong? I'm like, I've never seen these. He's like a tiny little mini man. He's a
And
pocket
you're in the Hall &
person.
Oates section, you said.
We definitely
Surrounded
were. Yeah.
by Oates.
Yeah. The odor next to me was not super enthused. But okay, so they play these songs, and I actually have to send you. I did take a little clip of them doing the chorus to Maneater, so you can show your kids.
Thank you.
They had
I recently introduced them to that song. It was, speaking of which, the video, I don't know if I had ever seen.
real dumb.
That's pretty glorious.
Yeah, bad 80s. All of theirs are they're
Wow.
but they just had no energy, and like Oates really didn't seem to. He was just like, I'm playing my guitar. He's like, he just kept looking. It's like he kept looking around like, this isn't fun.
Where am I?
So we left after 5 songs. We're like, this is just not worth it. They're not. They're not.
What was left? What other song would you have liked to have
I don't
heard?
know.
That seems like they front loaded with all the.
Who knows? I mean,
Fair enough.
And no, it was great, dude. Tears for Fears was amazing, and I will absolutely, like, the price we paid is the price they pay or they charge for like their tickets by themselves. So we got to see Hall & Oates live for 5 songs, which is more than I ever expected in my life.
Right.
I'll take it.
Okay.
But this is I am very excited.
Okay.
I have been so busy for the past like 3 days. This is like I'm going in blind in this whole show. I don't know what anything says
Beautiful.
at any point here. I don't know any of these things. So I'm excited. Tell me about your life.
Cool. Well, no, this will be fine because I know you haven't seen this movie that I saw. Actually, you might have seen the second movie I saw.
Haven't.
I went to pretty quickly after we recorded last Tuesday, and saw Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Spider-Man.
So, is just every movie good now?
Oh man, all I keep hearing is how good it is. It's real solid.
It seems
best
impossible. Like,
Spider-Man
I
movie.
feel like we did this when I saw Civil War too. I'm like, yeah, it was a great movie. You made another really good movie.
Neat.
It seemed like I can't believe it. Especially this one where like Sony and Marvel had to get to, because I think this is still primarily, I don't know how much Marvel was involved still. Like
Marvel,
Sony's.
Yeah, so Marvel, this is a Marvel thing. Marvel kind of got they were given like the
Marvel
reins.
Studios has done most of the heavy lifting.
They were given the reins, basically, my understanding of this is they were given the reins to do everything, and Sony's just collecting money.
Okay, well that makes more sense then. But still, the team's a little unknown here, like from actor to director even. Like not a whole bunch of track record, which isn't, I mean, Marvel has kind of done before.
I don't actually even know who the director is for this one.
John Mantanga? Mantequilla. Montenegro.
John Watts.
Watts. That's it. I downloaded his other stuff after watching this. This freaking movie is...
Oh!
What movie did he do?
He did Clown! He
did do Clown.
I loved Clown. That was.
I have Cop Car queued up.
I am
watch,
super okay. I have been dying to watch it. That movie has been in every little group of people I know that watches those types of movies. Like, it's fantastic. It's
Kevin
tremendous.
Bacon's.
It's the Bacons. It's the Baconator.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. It does seriously like this. Even just the franchise is so well worn. We're coming off like two really bad. Like the Amazing movies were bad.
They were amazingly
bad. I
don't
hate Andrew Garfield still somehow, but just even in retrospect, where I could watch those movies, like none of it seems.
I hate him because number
good.
one, he's with Emma Stone, and number two, he's gonna break her heart.
Fair, actually. What Spider-Man: Homecoming does though is, and I mean it's kind of in the title, so I don't know. Marvel has always kind of towed the line with spectacle, you know, in an age where movies get a bit loud and dumb real quick, or where there's a really cool article out there with the guy who wrote Toy Story 3 about how do you write a story where the world isn't in jeopardy, and how just movies have been trending towards that for some time now. Like it's Marvel has had that problem from time to time as well, even if I think they handled it really well. Like Avengers, I think did get, you know, there's a lot of criticism for how loud that got in the end, but I think they actually handled it in really, really cool way.
Well, and I think
different way.
It's really funny to me too, because the overarching thing for all the Marvel movies is exactly that. It's the world is going to end in the worst way possible.
True. So yes, I would say they've erred on that side, definitely. Which I mean is kind of also a holdover from comics.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Spider-Man: Homecoming, like, perfectly solves that problem. Like it takes that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, you know,
which I feel like, by the way, is something we've missed. Period.
For sure. I mean,
I think I liked
that was the thing about the Amazing movies, is they were like, oh, he's much more like the comics, like his banter, you know, he's using some of the nicknames and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess, but it wasn't like no, those were blockbusters.
No, and Tobey Maguire is the same thing. Like I still really like those movies. I still really like Tobey Maguire in the role, but he wasn't your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He wasn't that at all.
Yeah, and he looked older from the beginning too.
Well, yeah, when you're 35.
They still started him out in high school, but yeah. The things they do with this to keep it small, like the main bad guy, Michael Keaton, Vulture, is just this blue-collar dude from New York. Like they take it all the way back to the first Avengers, in fact. Like he's in charge of the cleanup. And he's gone in with a lot of money, you know, invested heavily in being part of this. And then the government walks up, kind of backed by Tony Stark, and is like, no, you're out. So it toys with the gray area really cool, too.
That's cool.
It's done so freaking well. Like
that's interesting. I didn't
impossible.
I didn't know how Vulture. I didn't know how he played into it. You know, like because there's like that's very cool. That's a really novel way of especially with. I like that they used a real mid-tier villain that could really go either way. You could go real poor, real bad with this.
It was a perfect choice in retrospect. Now that you think about it, because I remember the first time I heard about it, I was like, Vulture. Yeah, I guess that's.
It's
smaller.
That's all
that's left, but
it brings it in. But
it's not. Yeah, it just fit perfectly. And he is like he's a local crime boss, and the story deals with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, wanting to be an Avenger. You know, he had his time in Civil War, and now he's waiting on that call from Tony. Like, what's the next job? You know, so it's a coming of age superhero story, which is bizarre and still really it's nuts. Like the way they bring in all the high school stuff. I mean, he goes to homecoming. That's why it's one of the reasons that's what it's called.
Oh!
But it also, really well.
He dances. Is there a dance sequence?
I don't remember. That part doesn't last. Doesn't figure in that prominently.
It's too bad.
It's kind of an anchor, but they did a really good job with it, and just the whole kind of down-to-earth nature they kept throughout. They do make it a local threat, but also there's these things where he's kind of just like swinging around town. Like there's these cool clips where like he's on a roof and some like hot dog vendor below sees him and is like, "Hey, Spider-Man, like, do a backflip." And he does a backflip. He's like, "Yeah," and that's it. Like just small, really cool touches like that.
Yeah, I like it.
It's really good, man.
Gotta go see it.
You should go see it.
I want to see that. I like Spidey. Spidey's always good. So Tom Holland is a solid Spidey / Peter Parker.
He might be my favorite, man. Like this. So the competition here was going to be Spider-Man 2 versus this one, right?
Sure. Yeah. No question.
Spider-Man 2 is a really well constructed, like the themes that are brought in and the imagery that's brought in to bolster those themes. I don't know if this does that as well, but the story is probably more fun. You
know what the bummer kind of is with those movies a little bit is that it doesn't take place in that same world, so you don't get. Yeah. And even though like it's its own thing and it's great to watch, it doesn't like. It's a little bit of a bummer. I just want them at this point. I want them to release a special edition where they like. Remember when Spielberg did the walkie-talkies?
Just get Lucas on it. Yeah, let's retcon those first ones. Put in some like blue ghosts of Tom Holland somewhere.
Or no. I'm not. I'm just saying like go small with it. You just like the walkie-talkies. Just throw the Avengers Tower in the background here and there. You know, every once in a while in the background, like just do a little CGI. There goes Thor. Pew.
Those first two Spider-Man movies stand on their own just fine. Like they're still favorites of mine. Yeah. The third one, obviously we know, but
fantastically great. I'm gonna do some dancing here.
Homecoming's worth it. The small touches they put on the Vulture too, like how they get that stupid like fringe around his neck.
It's on his aviator jacket, right?
It is.
It's awesome.
And there's little stuff like that throughout, and it's all
okay. Now here's my single question, I guess, that I will ask that could be spoiler-esque. Is there a door left open for Keaton to come back, or is he gone? Like, is he dead, or is he arrested?
Not gone.
Because if this goes well, I have a feeling that they'll try and yank him back and see if they can do a Sinister Six thing.
Oh, don't eat. Oh, man. Why would you say that out loud during things?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Because I want to ruin it.
Oh, that would be. He's still. Yeah. He's with the toned down nature of this movie. There's not a lot of death. Like it's not. It's almost not a life and death thing. Like
which is awesome because that's Spider-Man.
It is. It's so freaking good. Like there is threatening aspects to it, and one guy is killed, and how they deal with that is pretty amazing. But it's Keaton's still there,
and
we're good.
And how was Happy? How was John Favreau?
Good. He kind of takes the place of Stark. He's Spider-Man's handler for the most part.
Does he actually have like a part in the movie, or like that's awesome? Because I expected him to just be there for like 2 seconds. And I love Favreau. I think he's great.
It's not a large part. He has no arc to him, but he's in there and he's good.
I like him. All right,
he's good.
So Spider-Man.
The other one I watched was the Wolverine.
The Wolverine. I like that movie a lot.
That might be my favorite movie that Wolverine is in.
It is definitely out of the grouping until you get to Logan, in which case it's probably not going to be. It's going to be Logan. But
have you seen Logan?
No, I'm just making the grand assumption.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no chance. I actually really love pretty much everything about that movie. It drops in the third act, like so many, it seems to. That third act, and it's not even the whole act itself. It's the direction they decided to go with Silver Samurai. That is just it was stupid.
Drop might even be the wrong word because it ramps up like nuts. Whereas the entire movie is kind of understated until then.
Okay, yeah. I'll go with that. Yeah. But it falters with the Silver Samurai.
Yeah. I mean, Samurai looks freaking awesome. But
yeah.
But yeah, not even into the look.
No, because I just
I'm not real familiar with that storyline.
I like the character enough to feel like there was a missed opportunity there, where instead of this becomes,
he's not given his due at all. He's a reveal at best.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like number one, it shouldn't have been, and number two, it should have been like I think the reason they went with the robot style thing they went with is because they've built Wolverine up at this point in the movies so much that you can't, having him fight what's ostensibly a super ninja is not like that's hard. I get, maybe that's a hard sell, when you're not doing Logan, apparently.
Right. No, and you're right. It doesn't necessarily fit with the whole rest of the movie, which is kind of a really cool balancing act. Yeah, it's got like family drama. It's got Yukio, this girl, that comes and brings him in and is friends with Mariko, who's his love interest, but she's got a father and a grandfather, and there's this business thing to it, and Wolverine then having to deal with kind of. I bet this is part of the plot of Logan, but having to come back, quote unquote, after the Wolverine is dead or whatever, however he puts it. It's really interesting. It's really well handled and something I didn't necessarily expect or remember even that well.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I do remember being bummed out that it was one of those things where I again had wished that some retconning had occurred, because this should have been where with in X-Men in general, because Lady Deathstrike should have been. Oh yeah, she would have been perfect.
That would have been an amazing, nice to have.
But
and the movie ends with kind of it's Yukio and Wolverine sitting in an airplane. Like they could have gone in a sequel direction with this thing.
Well, the thing is, they killed Lady Deathstrike in X2, so like they nuked the character.
She was the no.
Yeah.
Was that X2 or 3?
It was X2 because she was what's his name?
Right.
She was Stryker's assassin that ends up getting filled with adamantium.
Squandered that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Speaking of 3, though, also maybe the triumph of Wolverine is the way it makes good on X-Men 3 in a way. Like, because his arc is him feeling bad for killing Jean. Like, she shows up in flashback a whole bunch of times.
Right.
And him coming to terms with that, while falling in love with Mariko and stuff like that. But that whole arc is just like, there's times where he's looking at her with like all this like anger or anxiety, like all this stress, like or sorrow, anxiousness, what is the freaking word, over what he's done, over why he's killed her. And I just see like the tears of X-Men 3 streaming down his face. Like in that moment, I am with him. I'm like, yeah, why did they do that to her?
Yeah,
why did that movie exist at all?
He's sitting there looking, and Famke Janssen is just saying to him on set, "It's okay, it's okay."
Basically.
Famke Janssen.
But it works. It totally works. They make good on that. And then the stinger, they kind of further erase that movie, which is even better.
I do love how they've just completely taken a massive dump on Brett Ratner.
They should have. For that movie. I mean, Brett Ratner has done stuff I like. I like Rush Hour. I actually liked
Rush Hour 2
or something like that. Yeah,
I did not love Rush Hour 3, but it was all right.
But yeah, X-Men 3. No.
Here's a fun tidbit about yours truly. My first like movie crush, like when I was very, very small, was Phoebe Cates in Gremlins. Like I just was, oh my gosh, I love her. And I held on to that crush until GoldenEye came out, and then I became Famke Janssen is.
Oh right, Xenia on the top.
Yes, and I have been a loyal fan of hers for many years now.
Sure. Okay,
I think she is a very, very pretty woman.
I did watch one other movie this week, but I'm saving it for next week. I got a hot trilogy on my hands.
Ooh.
Just wait and see.
Yeah, I've got I actually also have a trilogy for sure, possibly a quadrilogy depending on how I feel. Maybe even 5 quintilogy.
A fiveology?
A 5 yeah, 5, that's it. Thank you. A fiveal.
Okay, all right. We'll tease it. Successfully tease. Tune in next week for more movies.
Let's talk about video games.
I don't even have your games played up here on this beautiful agenda of mine. So
Woo!
just throw them at. Surprise me. Oh, DuckTales.
Woo!
Again.
Rolled credits on the details.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That game's great, man. It's solid. Super
Did
fun.
you run in? I don't remember how hard that game is. Was that? Did you run into any problems?
If it didn't have the rewind function, yeah, I probably would have thrown my controller about 1,000 times.
Okay.
there are like it runs into that same thing that like every Nintendo game ever has, where not everything lines up properly. So you look at a sprite, you think, okay, I'm gonna make that jump. You don't. You missed it. I don't think I'm gonna get hit by that guy. You did. Okay. There are times when it's like, as you get older, you realize, okay, I wasn't wrong when I was a child to be angry about that. I didn't actually get hit. So there were a number of times that did occur, and I absolutely abused the rewind button, but it was whatever. I had fun, so screw you.
To this day, my family will give me a hard time for the phrase, I jumped! Because that was the word I said through tear-soaked eyes daily. When I was I jumped, Mom. To this day, everyone will tell you.
I am getting knuckle tattoos of I jumped
every Christmas. I jumped. Hey Ryan, you remember? I remember.
Oh man,
I remember.
We should make that. Those should be T-shirts. I jumped. That's a good T-shirt.
Oh,
TM copyright ours. Suck it. I also
did you move on to any other DuckTales done?
DuckTales is done. I moved on to Darkwing Duck because I did not ever remember playing this game, and I still do not remember playing this game. It's really cool though. It's different. It's not like it's the same side-scrolling thing. You know, it looks. They use the exact same palette from frickin' Batman the video game.
No kidding.
It's
really
purple. It's that like purple Batman and like because he was very purple in that game.
Right.
It makes sense.
Is this a Nintendo game?
Yeah.
Or is this a Super Nintendo? No. Okay, gotcha.
Regular Nestendo. So this is a side scroll. You've got a gun and you have you have a gun that like you can change the gas guns on it, so you get different ammo, but you only have one at a time because this is a Nintendo game. So you have like you pick up the ammo for that style of gun and then you switch through it, you shoot it and whatever. All of the enemies take like 4 or 5 bullets to kill. You can, I don't know if you ever played Bionic Commando.
It's been a while.
So when you used your Bionic Commando claw thing, you could swing.
Right.
But if you jumped too close, you were just there. You just like stuck to it. That's what this is. Like, you don't get the swinging thing. You just stuck to things. So like there's a whole bunch of up and down, like where you're platforming and you just go click. You're there. All right. Fair enough. He has a Darkwing Duck has a he can use his cape to block bullets, which is pretty funny.
Nice.
So I'm about halfway through the game, I think. I'm not abusing the rewind as much here because it's just not as it's different. It's just not as hard. But the bosses are definitely NES challenges. They take 1,000 shots that you got to do. You got to go up and down, and you got to jump around, and you can't get hit by anything. And you know it's a whole lot of that. And so it's exactly what you love. The rewind button is your friend.
I'm gonna use it. There's no way I won't.
Liberally. But yeah, it's good, man. It's really fun, and it's a good looking game. Like that was a good looking game. It had some neat little graphic twists to it with his duck plane, the duck wing flying through the air and all that.
I haven't even booted mine yet. Are they doing the thing where like there's like a kind of a virtual, black bars on the side, or maybe it's some artwork
cabinet,
or something like that? Or did they? Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't widescreen these things or anything.
No, you can get rid of them. I think you can actually do it full screen. I haven't really dug into the options.
Does it just squish it, or does it actually?
Don't. Oh no! Like when it just normally.
Yeah. No. Like if you widescreened it, does it squish it or stretch it?
Don't
know.
Does it? I've never done it.
Okay.
Didn't bother.
I'm very likely going to boot that game up this week.
It's fun. DuckTales, good way to start to get the memory back, and then I think the rest of the games are going to fall into place. After I do Darkwing Duck, I am going to move on to Chippendale's Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
And then I picked up Hitman again this week and moved on finally for the first time, played a different level. I had not touched Sapienza. Every time this game, like it surprises me. And I
Did you do the elusive target? I heard the last one was, maybe the last one for season 1 was.
No, and I think they're just like they're loaded in. You can go back and do them. I think forever.
I'll have to look. I saw something about that being the last one. I don't know if that means it goes into rotation now or if it's that's one of the live features.
Right. So when you log on, there's like a menu where you can choose elusive targets. I don't know if it's all of them or what. I've never bothered with it.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be cool.
It's in there, and I think that. If as long as they've done it, it runs and then it's there and you can redo it.
That would be the smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Then it just builds on content. It's not something that it disappears. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and this whole level is cool. It's in Italy, I think is where it is. Sapienza, Italy, and it's like
Sapienza.
Everything is bright and you've got like a nice button down Hawaiian shirt on essentially. It's like one step away from Tommy Bahama. And there's like
who you have to murder as
that's actually he's the elusive target.
Really?
Kill Mr. Tommy Bahama. Yeah, it's great, man. I was playing and Beth was watching and she was like, I always really like this game, the Hitman series. She's watched me play Absolution and some of the other ones. But games like she doesn't really want to play them, but similar to Candy, she likes to watch them. Sure. So we're trying a different thing where I am going to basically just be a controller and she's going to tell me where to go and tell me, okay, kill that guy with this thing. And we're going to try and play the game that way.
Nice.
See how it goes.
We do a little bit of that. Like if it's something that's kind of decision heavy,
yeah,
I'll let her make the decision. Like, or there's actually a part in Infinite Warfare where you can choose your next mission. You can do some nonlinear stuff in there. Like you can do some side missions, and I've let her choose. Like what do you want to do? You want to go main story mission, or I got this side stuff that has to do with this and this and this. It's always main story mission. She's going for it, but still.
Sure. I think this is kind of an interesting game because like that it's open. You get to spend all this time learning the layout, finding the things, seeing what's there, and then deciding what you're going to do with it. And I think that's novel. I think it'll be fun to play through the level a couple times with her, and she'll she'll pick up go here, do this. Let's try and kill him this way. And I showed her I gave her the list of each level has a whole bunch of given ways on how to kill, like challenges. Kill them this way, kill them this way, kill them, and they're different. So there's a handful that are universal. Do it all in your Hitman suit. Do all of them in the Hitman suit without ever being seen. Kill everybody with the Garrote. But there are different ones that are level specific. The one level that I'm on, the Sapienza one, I desperately want to kill this guy with a you can like lace a golf ball with C4 or something so that he goes out to like tee off and he blows up.
Oh, okay.
Desperate to do that one. That's my...
That sounds great.
Yeah.
That's really cool. To go back to the way you're playing with Beth, that's really cool. I think that this game is turned out to be that because it's a perfect way, because the actual story in that game is pretty thin, right? Like there's not much.
Yeah.
The greater story in that game is what you do, right?
Definitely.
Like the story you create.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
The story that they very thinly thread together is like... It's the beginning of your career as a hitman. It's when you're first being brought in as the hitman. And
I didn't actually know that. So this is like a prequel.
Basically.
Yeah. I probably end up playing that game at some point.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like after they released like the patches, I've said it. It's much better. It's good. It's dense.
Hey, so am I.
Yeah, that's why we play games.
Hey, so Gears of War 4. You ready? So, no, I won't talk about it. With my wife gone, this has just become the way I watch TV now. Because before it was like if I wanted to turn off or watch something, I would do this. But now she's not here for any of the TV I watch. So it's basically like, instead of watching on the couch, I'm just out here while I Gears. But I will say this. I mean, we've talked about Gears of War 4, how it's largely for the fans. Like that game goes so deep and so hard in some directions that bizarre they care about anybody that doesn't love Gears, that doesn't have a Gears tattoo at all.
Run the jewels.
The more so I'm by the clock on my, and I think this is taken into account the times I left it paused and stuff like that, which is hours upon hours. I'm 363 hours into Gears of War 4.
Bummer.
According to that game clock. And I'm trying to do, or it would be nice if two things happened while I was watching TV, basically, is what's going on here. One of them is if
your Xbox detonates as if it was filled with thermite.
Yes. But only if it destroyed these two achievements. One of the achievements is for leveling up every class, because Horde is now class-based, right? That, and we've talked about this, takes a way too long amount of time to do one.
Way too
long. So one of the solutions that's out there is you get this one of the epic cards, which is the sniper strike, which immediately kills 5 to 6 to 7, depending on how upgraded it is, enemies on the screen all at once. So there's this grind I can do where I plug in a silver account, I boot up local split screen, and we do level 41 of Horde. And I do, this is why I can watch TV while I do it, because it's mindless. I hit the special card, it kills 5, 6 people, 6 enemies, and then because I've started on level 41, it started me with a certain amount of cash already, so I just spend that cash on that power-up card, and it kills everybody in that entire wave, and then it starts the next level. I quit out, rinse and repeat level 41 over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
Hoping that the silver account will get the purple card for the sniper strike, and then we can switch places, and I can use that silver account to do the killing, and the classes on my main account will then level up, right?
Okay.
Of course.
Sure.
The other thing that would be nice if it happened is that there's an achievement for leveling up every skill card on one class to level 6. With the recent update, they put all the cards up to 6 from 5. The way stuff levels up is you have to get numerous editions of the card, and then you can level them up, etc., etc. So the other thing that would be nice is if I got all of the cards pertaining to the engineer class, who is the cheapest guy to do this achievement to. Those are the two things that after 363 hours haven't happened. Like, if I thought this game catered to super fans before, like, what? The only other option is that they know of this quote unquote exploit, and they've patched against it for some reason, which, if that's the case, you spent the time doing that, to what end? That when I get blocked, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll spend money. No, those aren't the people that are going to spend money on your game.
Yeah.
We're the idiots that are going to play hunts 363 hours while we're watching TV to get an achievement.
My favorite.
And I don't have that card for the engineer, and I can't get the one on the silver account. So I'm just stuck in this stupid endless loop where I can't even do anything while I'm doing nothing.
And I don't even think I have the game anymore. I think I sent it to you.
I don't think I do either.
So great stuff. Here's I can empathize with you a little bit here. Let me empathize with you.
Okay.
So there is an achievement in Injustice 2. Totally RNG based. You can't even grind it. You cannot grind this. There was a way to grind it, kind of. When the game first came out, the abilities, which are like they're things that change how the characters play. So sometimes they add a move, sometimes they alter a move. But you get 2 ability slots, and this one ability for Catwoman it only comes out of a box, like only a mother box. When the game first launched, they weren't considered high tier, abilities weren't, so they came out of the cheapest mother box, which was 2,000 credits. Not really a big deal, bronze, easy. Then people were just buying, so they changed that, they bumped it up to 5,000 credits. Okay, people are still buying. Then they said, all right, nope, now they're rare. So now they're only in gold, and they hardly ever drop out of that. So there is this achievement floating out there that is completely based on something that you can't buy with money, with real world money. You can't. You can't.
Oh man.
You can't buy.
That's even worse.
You can't buy the thing with real world money. You can buy the individual mother boxes, But
I guess that's the same.
But you have to pay. But you're buying them in in-game
Actually,
currency.
no, it's not, because you can buy those stupid Gears boxes with real world money.
Yeah, you can't buy these boxes with real world money.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah, it's RNG all the way, baby.
Oh, the RNG on Gears is so stupid. Okay, so that's dumb. What about Star Wars Battlefront? There's
a sequel coming out. Just throw this game away already.
A long time ago, I hit level 50 after having done all of the other achievements, which I actually thought were pretty fun. Like, we had a lot of fun with that game. I know it wasn't your favorite.
No,
but
when we played it for the most part, yeah, it was a good time.
Then they released some DLC with an achievement for get to level 100, which is now do not even 1 to 50 again, do 50 to 100, because that's going to be harder than 1 to 50,
right,
with nothing else to do. So what do I do except go to trueachievements.com, where plenty of like-minded folks have come up with a way to boost said last achievement, and which actually I wasn't going to do, honestly, not even to make myself look good. Because I was upset that they didn't give me anything to do. Give me like 20 more achievements to do to level 100 at least, or something like that.
That's what you're annoyed by.
Yes. So I went to True Achievements and I found a group, and I was like, okay, I'll see how fast I level up, and I'll see, because honestly, I don't boost a ton anymore, and I kind of miss it because I met a lot of people I met Adam doing this. Right?
Oh, man. See, this is why you shouldn't do it.
Oh, dang it. You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I looked up what was going on. I got into a room. And this is not last week. This is a couple. Every time there's a double XP event. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out because I'm not going to do this. Even boosting this thing with the normal XP drip for Battlefront is ridiculous. Or any Battlefield game. That's always been my top gripe, actually, is that XP drip is freaking stupid.
It's real dumb.
For any, it's the worst. So I did that last time, and I got to like 78. So I'm like, well, crap. I guess I'm going to do this next time when double XP rolled around. Double XP rolled around. So I found a group, and it was actually pretty cool. Also, the fun thing I found out about boosting Star Wars Battlefront is that the conversation inevitably drifts towards the Star Wars movies, which is plenty of fodder.
Oh, man. I should check out TA for some Injustice stuff. That'll be a good discussion group, I'm sure.
Dude, it probably actually will.
Yeah, it probably will be. I should.
One of the guys, the worst it got was one of the guys got into Spider-Man Homecoming and how he wasn't enthused so much with the movie because it didn't match the comics exactly. He's like, and Flash is his friend, and he's Indian. And I'm like, dude, I think you might. I
think you're
I
missing.
Did not respond, actually.
There are some points you could be missing, my friend.
So I played a bunch of old games. I'm sorry. You're probably tired about hearing about old games. I did start a new game this week.
Good. Finally. I can't wait to hear about... Oh, okay. That did not go the direction I expected it to. I was certain this was going to be a Call of Duty thing.
there were for the Xbox sale, they had the 3-pack was this, Galaga, and...
Ms. Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man, I think, yeah, or just Pac-Man might be actually.
It's Ms. Pac-Man.
For $3.
I don't know.
So I got that.
Gotta love Dig Dug. Good times.
It's one of the greats. It's funny hearing you talk about how you would have been upset with DuckTales or Darkwing Duck, DuckTales. Because there is something about these games. I remember, we might have talked about this when I played Frogger for a little bit too. But it's like the first time you die, I'm immediately to 10. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, the minute. Yeah, it's like I have to glue the controller to my hand at this point in my life. Yeah. Like I just rage issues all day.
Luckily, the achievements for this thing are actually pretty fun. Like the ones they've done to make it, like there's one for just digging out every square on the board.
Sure.
There's another for digging out like 1,000 squares in one life, one game, or 100 enemies in one game, which are fun. Like different ways to play the game that kind of give you gold. It's when achievements are the best, basically.
Sure.
And it was fun.
Cool. I like Dig Dug.
And that's it.
All right.
But plenty of stuff. It's not technically it because there was so many things this week. There was like 2 expos. And
like Montreal?
4 not expos? I don't think so.
Oh.
Hockey?
They were baseball.
No, then.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got that. You know what? Asked and answered.
D23.
What
is the first one that comes to mind?
What is the D?
The D is Disney. I couldn't tell you what the 23 is.
Is it because there's 23 of them?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know.
Okay. There, you heard
I told you at the beginning of the show, I don't know anything about anything that happened this week.
Let me throw some of these your way then.
Let's hear about it.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
There's a third one?
It's coming out in 2018.
How?
And it's got Toy Story.
It does?
Yeah, you're right. You haven't read anything on this.
I didn't. I don't know anything about it. It's also a series that I still am. It was a PlayStation only series forever, so I'm assuming this is also exclusive.
I think so, yeah.
So it's something that I never got into. Plus, it was a weird combination of things that just didn't really click for me as an interest. So I don't really know anything about Kingdom Hearts other than it's Disney and Capcom, Tecmo, Square.
Yeah.
That's it. Of course, it's Square.
It's the Final Fantasy Disney crossover. The trailer, quote unquote trailer, because it's mostly just gameplay. Really, the big draw looks like the Disney characters. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. That appears to be it.
And Toy Story characters.
Yes.
Now.
Okay, you're gonna like these other ones better than
I'm excited.
We got another inside look trailer about Spider-Man.
The Meaner Man.
Insomniac Games Spider-Man coming out.
I did not see this either, but I did watch the trailer from E3, and I'm very hopeful for this game.
You got the bulk of this thing. Like, there's not even any new footage. Like, they were showing clips from that trailer with just people from Insomniac kind of talking about the game or whatever.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Not a ton of new information, but seeing some of that stuff again, I'm gonna make the call. I'm making the call.
Yeah.
Day one.
And that's a PS4 game, man.
Yeah.
That's
first day one PS4.
That's crazy. All right. I'm excited. I will also probably get that very close to day one. I don't know when it comes out.
It just looks good, man.
It does.
Some of the set pieces they're putting it they look like more than QuickTime events. They might boil down to be just QuickTime events, but it looks good.
I'm eventually going to play it.
Battlefront 2 also looks good.
Battlefront 2 also looks good.
So did you get to watch this quote unquote behind the story?
Again,
trailer?
If this was not something that wasn't at E3, I did not see it.
Okay. All right. You're going to have to watch that. It's
I will watch this. This is actually on my little playlist thing.
I'm making the call.
Yeah, I'm not making that call yet.
Day one.
Are you?
Day one going on. Yeah, I'm going to day one that. The story looks phenomenal, man.
Oh, man, you're going to make... Okay. All right. Well, I can see... At least I can get behind this one, because they definitely have changed enough to... I'm still not...
Okay, phenomenal. I'll bring it back. I'm getting...
misty-eyed.
It's... the campaigns for Battlefield games, and I've only played the one for Battlefield 4, are fun, for sure.
They are, yeah. I like them.
I don't think they've been transcendent.
No.
Battlefield 1, I hear, does some fun things.
It does.
And it wouldn't take much. This looks like one of those in the Star Wars universe, which just automatically...
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that the main character is being played by Shiva Kamini Somakandakram is really fantastic for me.
She looks like she's doing a great job.
Yeah, Shiva
okay, all right. So her number 2, her second in command is freaking Paul Blackthorne.
Oh, cool! It's Detective Lance.
Yeah,
it's that guy that was in the Jim Butcher TV show.
And the stuff, strangely enough, the stuff they show of him in that trailer, and even just him in mocap, is a stronger performance than I've ever seen him turn in Arrow.
And he is usually one of the stronger people in Arrow, which is...
Well, he's a total archetype in Arrow, though. Like, they try to give him an arc sometimes, I feel like.
Where are you in that show, by the way?
Yeah, I guess still not through season 2.
Okay, season 3, he
give him more.
He actually has some really... he's got a great arc in season 3, actually, because it's an arc that kind of is like, it's understated, but he actually does he has some really good scenes, like really powerful scenes.
Okay, all right. The last thing I talked about is they're teaming up with, I think, Lenovo to make an AR headset. They teased a couple things with that AR headset. One being like the game where you hold a lightsaber, because that's still the holy grail. But also Hollow Chess or Dejaric.
Jarek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that wasn't the first thing somebody, when they were
Right.
like the minute I'm thinking AR, I'm like, hey, what about Star Wars? Like, what about that chess game?
Might kind of probably should have led with that, but that's fine. It's not gonna, I mean, I kind of have a hard time believing that's going to be anything than a fun toy, or, you know,
If it's,
deep
you know,
or anything
if
like
they actually have real, like if it's got real rules to it and can be played like a real game, why not? I'd be into it.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Play online against people with holo chess and rip their arms
Check out
off.
our Lenovo headsets.
Check out our headset.org.
The other expo that happened was Evo.
Evo!
And there's plenty of stuff coming out of that. There's some fun stories
Electronic
about.
Violence Organization.
Is that not what it stands for?
I know it is. I got to tell you. So
Yeah, there's fun stuff, like people getting yellow cards for mid match coaching.
That
There's
was great.
a dude that tried to pay off a guy in the middle of his infinite combo.
and the best part about the guy, the Smash Melee guy who got the coaching help is a dude named Hungrybox. He was the guy that, I'm going to use lingo here. Check it out. It's going
do
to
it.
be very
I'm into
cool.
it. We're hip.
Yes. He put Nintendo on blast, quote unquote,
Ooh.
at
Delicious.
the last Melee tournament for not supporting the Melee community. And just to see him lose the overall too, he actually lost after. I don't know if it's to that guy, but he
lost after his mid-match coaching.
He lost the overall. Yeah, I thought that was fun. That was cool. And yes, the one guy who got caught in an infinite combo in like Marvel versus Capcom or whatever they were playing, he's just sitting there like looking at it, and then he pulls his wallet out and like hands the money. At one point, that same guy, he got caught in another one in a different game by a different player. He started taking pictures of the guy. Then he took selfies with the guy who was like keeping him in the combo.
That's pretty good.
Then
All right.
people showed up to take selfies with him and the guy that was big. It was good. Evo.
Yeah, plenty of that stuff going on. Some of the trailers that came out, or at least in conjunction, because, you know, strike while it's hot, are 3 different crossovers for 3 different games.
It's what you got to do now.
Okay, so first of all, you got some Fatal Fury in my Tekken 7 with the appropriately named Geese Howard.
Geese. He's, you know what?
It's not even like a French. It's not like guys. It's like
take a gander
the
at him.
bird.
Take a gander.
News item over, and then you get some Final Fight in your Street Fighter V.
Abigail coming to Street Fighter V.
I'm not real familiar with Final Fight, but yes, Abigail is a man.
Nope.
From the Final Fight
Nope.
series. I can see her nipple in this picture.
Yeah. She was one of the bulky bruisers of the Mad Gear gang. Freaking Mad Gear gang, by the way.
Yeah, she's got the bracelets too. Or he. Maybe my favorite trailer out of the bunch, though. Like it's actually fun the way they use her size. It's got to be a guy. His size.
It's her.
Is it?
Yes, because the giant guy that was in Final Fight was not her.
Okay,
I was going to say it was a Bobo, but that's Double Dragon, and then I had to back myself out of it, and then I revealed that I put myself into it, and now I'm backing it out.
A Bobo is a man.
A Bobo is a man.
A Bobo is a man. The name of just any band.
Toto.
My Tears for Fears cover band, actually. It's fun because that joke, you can literally use any band, and either one, somebody's going to be afraid to be like, I don't exactly get it, but you know, I get the thrust of the joke is.
Yes.
Or somebody does actually get it, even if you don't, and they're like, yeah, I get that because Tears for Fears is like this band, or I like them or something. It's the perfect joke.
It's the only joke better is that's what she said.
The Abigail trailer looks great because Abigail, I'm just going to use the name.
That is correct.
Moveset does a lot of fun stuff with her dang it, size, because she's huge and like walks on top. Hey, you know what else happened? You got some
Nice
Darkstalkers in my Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
We sure didn't.
With Jeddah. I don't know Darkstalkers, so Darkstalkers fans, Jeddah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
That's it for Evo. I got 4 other non-Expo related things here that you haven't read about. So here you go. Ready? Aaron Flynn, 17-year, I guess, veteran of BioWare, director of Mass Effect Andromeda and other games, has stepped down as director of Anthem, actually.
Starting off well with this game already. Good.
Yeah, so I thought the same thing when I read that. I was like, man, this is like the last thing Anthem needs is like just Mass Effect Andromeda just spilling over onto it somehow or something. You know, like the implication being that he got let go because of that, or he has, I shouldn't say other games, he has more than just Mass Effect. He's done some good work.
But he also, you know,
That
Mass Effect
sounded bad too,
Andromeda
actually.
also, yeah. Let's just say
But
that
then to
he
see
left.
who's stepping in, Casey Hudson, who was the director for the first 3 Mass Effect. He's about as old school BioWare as you can get at this point, basically.
If he had a doctor in front of his name, it would be the only thing that could make him more.
Which basically does the complete opposite. Yeah, I'm like, oh, like
So-
that's good for Anthem.
Now the ultimate question here is going to be with how far along we saw Anthem.
That's true. Yeah, how much it'll make a difference.
Will
Yeah,
it?
okay.
But you know, Casey Hudson does have those large games under his belt, and he knows what BioWare fans really enjoy. So, you know, maybe he'll see something that he can slightly tune.
He's a good addition, no matter what. Yeah, nothing but good for that game.
Nothing but good for that game.
And speaking of nothing but good,
Zynga.
I
did read this
Boy.
one. Because you do not, under any circumstances, ever do things to anybody, under any circumstance ever,
Fair. I
where
agree.
you charge them an obscene amount of money for Letty's car from Fast and the Furious. You don't do it ever.
That car is free and for the people. We're a family.
Thank you.
Don't they understand?
Back up.
Zynga, quote unquote, has experimented or tested, according to Zynga, this thing of charging different prices for DLC to different people, or DLC to in-game microtransactions, whatever. $4.99 to some people, $14.99 to others, $34.99 to others. There's a big old thing about it. You can read all about it if you want. Zynga's statement is that from time to time, we test different features in the game.
We're going to feature test how can we bilk money out of people.
Yeah, so that's where this all falls apart for me. Like, it's not a harmless test like they're putting out there. Zynga does 2 things. I mean, the stories coming out of Zynga are bad anyways, so whatever. But the 2 things that are coming out of this, Zynga is finding out how much people will pay for something.
Yep.
And how much specific people will pay for something. So, and agreed, it's going to be hard to work out, but I'm sure they're trying to figure out a way, given this program, to charge people as much as they can for stuff on an individual basis.
Profiling, man.
Freaking evil.
Profiling.
Period.
It's not just a racial thing anymore. See, now it's a financial thing.
Gross, man.
Zynga, guess what? You'll never get a dime from me, you bastages. You never have before. And at this point,
I don't think I've ever given a dime to Zynga. I don't know.
At this point, I would actively download all of their games that are doing this just to pull up the DLC thing on a daily basis to post what my prices are being given. Just so I could show people. Like,
right.
I'd find a way to script it. I'd do it.
Well, you know, people are looking for it now, which is, I mean, that's the other reason you don't do this, because it's not like you're not going to get caught. Like this was caught by 2 friends that just compared their screens, and you know, the first thing people are going to say is, I've called Comcast enough times. I know.
Yeah.
The first thing people are going to say is, my friend's only paying this much, but my bill is this much. Your excuse is never good enough either at that point.
Man,
I mean,
I should call Comcast and say that.
Yeah, if you take anything away from this, it's that you should call Comcast. That's for sure. Atari, and this came out a little bit ago, but I didn't mention anything because there wasn't anything concrete. There was a rumor that they were working on a new console for Atari. Like, what does that even mean? Well, it means the Atari box.
The Atari Atari box.
Thanks, Mario.
Thanks, Mario.
But now they have a picture of it, and I gotta say, I love the way this thing looks.
It looks super cool, right? Like, I'm totally into it.
You can get wood paneling in the front,
which is necessary because it'll match my downstairs.
There's no way I wouldn't get that. Yeah,
I'm talking about my body, not my house.
Thanks.
My downstairs actually does have wood paneling on the walls.
There's no cartridge places, so you're not putting old cartridges in this thing, which is kind of a bummer to me.
It is.
But
yeah.
Apparently they're chasing the whole. It's being likened unto the NES Classic, SNES Classic. You know,
they're chasing the dream. They're chasing
Except
the
that
dragon.
they've said there will be current, quote unquote, current content released on this thing at some point. So,
well, sure, Atari still makes games.
Do they?
Yeah. I don't know.
They're in the new Blade Runner trailer. I guess they were in the first one too.
How do you feel about that?
On the side of it. Oh man,
trailer.
That is a gorgeous freaking everything about it.
Don't even know, right? Hey, let's keep talking about movies.
Whatever. Yeah, Atari box coming out. It probably will be less than $100.
I will probably pay closer attention to this because I don't feel like this is going to run into the NES Classic situation of not being available anywhere.
They will make this as available as possible. I mean, Atari, don't get hung up on Atari either. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, this is Atari in name. Like that. At some point, the name itself has just been sold 2 or 3 times. Like, this is.
I mean, welcome to the Atari podcast. That's what we're changing. 0 Atari to the points. Atari.
No, that might actually,
Sue?
Historically might not be a great idea. At this point. Let's see how this turns out.
Good idea. We are the Sega Master System podcast.
And lastly, as an update, we talked a little bit about how Oculus, and there's been a rumor forever how they're working on kind of a wireless headset. Bloomberg is reporting that yes, they are. Could be $200, could be out next year, and doesn't require a high-end PC. They approached Oculus and they said, we don't have a product to unveil at this time. Quote, however, we can confirm that we're making several significant technology investments in the standalone VR category. So no new news technically, but this is still, I think it's done. Like, this is going to happen for sure.
Most likely. And Facebook going to make that money.
Well, it makes perfect sense because, I mean, Oculus is trailing, man. Like, they've had the whole Palmer Luckey thing, and it's not the number one VR headset, I would say. Am I fair in saying that?
I think generally most people agree that the Vive is the more technologically sound one and the further along, and that Oculus is catching up for sure. But they're trying
to, and they had a big sale.
Yeah, they dropped the price on the thing to $499, I think.
It was $299 for the sale, and it'll be $399 when the sale's over.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I mean.
But to drop a next gen, like basically the next gen piece of hardware, no wires, and
it's crazy. It's crazy.
That would be the punch they need, man. That would make them competitive.
If that comes out and has the same 1-to-1 and like no lag or next to no lag, it'll be crazy.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the problem, I think, is the lag issue.
And the 1-2 punch that we need
is the lightning round. Woo!
You sound so enthusiastic. I think you might not know it's your turn.
I'm punchy, man. I haven't eaten today. I'm hungry. There's
oh man, don't even get me started.
Working. There's 30 seconds on the clock.
No, that's definitely don't get me started about that. So look at all these news items that don't require that much attention. What if I just throw them your way and you tell me things about them that are funny and or editable?
I will do that in 30 seconds or less based on the clock.
Okay, fine. Matt, Ni no Kuni 2 has been delayed to 2018.
Ni no Kuni for you. Till 2018.
Gran Turismo Sport gets a final, definitely for sure release date of October 17th.
Yeah, I'm still lined up at the starting line for that one.
Okay.
No, I don't like it.
And PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds will be adding first-person servers next month.
I'll be the last person on there because I'm a winner chicken dinner.
Last-person servers? Fabulous. You did it.
Hey,
Excellent.
Ryan, you know what time it is? It's time to get downloading because coming out Friday, the Destiny 2 beta.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, also...
You're not kidding.
Splat
Wait, I'm excited for that. Dang it.
Yeah, I know.
What have
Get
I'm
downloaded.
the one who likes it.
You do.
You get excited for it.
No, you can't make me. You're not my dad. On Friday, Splatoon 2 will be out when Splatoon 2 comes out this Friday. Next Tuesday, Pyre is coming out.
That's the dude, the Supergiant Games, the guys who did Bastion and Transistor.
Oh.
That's Pyre.
So it's not Bananarama?
I'm not
I'm your
gonna
Venus.
say it's not.
I'm your pyre. It's your desire.
Hey, if we were to stream a game tomorrow,
If we were.
what game would we stream?
Infinite Warfare. Wait, no, that's just...
All
no.
right. You'd have to buy it.
You're a delightful little monkey.
We always do this. What if in the future, if we know what game we're going to stream, then I ask you what game we're going to stream. So we just don't every time say, I don't know, whatever game we choose to stream.
We're variety streamers,
You
Ryan.
don't tune in for the game. You tune in for us, though. So,
Well, we hope. I
right?
mean, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Who are you?
Who are any of us?
Yeah. Twitch.tv/0HITPOINTS on Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Unlike I say on other podcasts, like a dumb.
Oh, speaking of which, if you haven't listened to one of Matt's many other podcasts, go check that out. Yeah. What games did you talk about when you talked games?
I didn't actually talk about games. There wasn't a whole lot of game talk.
Didn't you have a video game podcast?
Yeah, we talked about it. I just didn't talk about a ton of games. It was like a week ago, man. I don't remember what I said.
Okay, all right, fair
like,
enough.
How do you think I am?
Let's go a week in the future. What games would you be talking about on this very podcast?
I will speak to you in this future that you have prescribed. I will play video games such as the Darkwing Duck.
Okay.
I will continue my engagement of the Hitmans.
Okay.
I may engage further in other things. However, we have incoming guests for the week, so I do not expect to have much time to game.
Okay. Kept you stayed in character for the whole thing.
I tried. It was important.
I'll Disney afternoon with you. We can talk about that together next week. I'll play Infinite Warfare. Then maybe one more game. You'll see.
TBD.
This is going to be the first week I'll have, because my wife left and I've had other stuff to keep me busy, unfortunately. This is going to be the first week where wife gone, nothing else. So
nice.
Yeah.
Hey, let's quit this.
It'll be amazing.
And maybe I can go play a video game for a minute.
Hey, see? Look at that already.
All right.
This is the best place to be.
So I'm going to leave. Bye.